Nothing feels better than riding in the open road. Woo! Paisanos, what's going on? The weather said it was 50, and yeah, they didn't say it was crazy breezy out though. What's going on, Paisanos? V here, and let's talk Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, when I looked at the ban list, I really thought that we were going to be limited. We were going to have Elic, Skill Drain decks, and PK's Artifact Scythe decks running around, but I'm actually kind of happy to say that it's not like that. We just recently had a YCS, and you know, there's a lot of diversity within the meta. And I'm kind of happy about that, to be honest with you. I was hoping there would be. I mean, in the top cut, we're seeing dragons, we're seeing DDDs, 60 card decks. Like, I will say, even though Artifact Size is definitely a hindrance to a lot of decks, which is upsetting, the meta seems to be still pretty fresh, and YuGioPaisano is still finding innovative ways to not play the obvious decks, the big deck in format. They're not playing the BDIF. What they're doing is they're saying to themselves, this is the best deck, how do I play around it? How do I stop it? What do I do to break that best deck in format? Because if I can, I'm going to have a lot of success. And I feel like the players that crack that code, as you say, are going to be going to be successful players. Let's not forget the fact that prank kids are also really good. Brave makes prank kids good as well. So I mean, there's a lot of things happening in the meta. There's a lot of things happening in the meta that I think a lot of players kind of just immediately understood. And instead of just everyone playing the same exact deck, players are changing it up, and I respect it. I just found out that Plunder Patrol went undefeated in the YCS, which is awesome. Brave Plunder Patrols going in, taking dubs. So hopefully you got your core, because like I said, the core of Plunder Patrols is something that I think a lot of players need to pick up on, but I'm not sure if anyone really did. It's relatively cheap, but it doesn't have no reprints, and if something doesn't have no reprints, especially within the Megatins, as its set was in the Megatin, the price is only looking to go up higher. So don't be surprised if you see Plunder Patrol prices start rising. I think there's a lot of like good deck cores to buy right now, and one of them is definitely going to be Plunder Patrols. Prank Kids is relatively cheap still, even though it has the ability to win events. But you need a Brave engine. Same with Plunder Patrol, by the way. One thing I want to know is, what decks is everyone playing right now? Comment down below and let me know, because like I said, everyone has so many different decks, and where there's an obvious tier list of like the obvious decks, like Phantom Knights and Prank Kids, I don't think it's obvious to the entire meta, as they can still lose to a lot of other decks in the game. So comment down below, what deck are you what deck are you playing? Let me know. I'm personally getting ready for Despius, Albaz. I know it's a month and a half away, but I've been preparing for that deck for the past couple of months, because I believe that deck is, it's not just a deck that auto wins, it's a deck that's skill based. And the better you become as a player with the deck, the better you benefit from playing that deck. So remember that. You know, if you're looking to play Albaz, start practicing now. Practice for the mirror match, practice against the current meta. Obviously with the ban list, there's going to be some changes, but I think Albaz is going to catch a lot of players off guard immediately, as a lot of players are just not ready for Albaz. But practice, because as much as the meta looks kind of set with cards like Mystic Mind, Skill Drain, and Artifact Scythe, a lot of players still have a lot of opportunity to top without those cards. And I think this YCS is going to be the proof that we're going to need to validate that. To show everybody, hey, listen, you can still do it even still without those cards. And obviously you still need a lot of meta cards in the game. Like, I think Lightning Storm is really good, Evenly Match is really good. Cards like Artifact Scythe, Artifact Lancier are going to see play. Obviously, Lancier being just a really good side deck card in the game. Jewel and Lockbird, just to shut your opponent down. Ghost Ogre. I mean, these are the kind of cards that's going to make or break a lot of players and make a lot of players pass turn as well. This meta, we actually might see Cross-Out Designator come back in, and we're slowly starting to see that, but even more so this meta, I think a lot of players are going to start playing Cross-Out Designator because of how many hand traps can just shut down a turn. Bye, Tostitos. Regionals coming back would be massive for players. It will give us more decks that will top now on a weekend basis. Not just the YCS, and not just the locals, but actually tried and true. Players playing 8, 9 rounds and saying, hey, listen, I played this deck, I'm undefeated, here's the pros and cons of it. And I think that'll give us a better scale. But since we don't have that, the best scale, the best metric for figuring out what's the best decks in the game is going to be something as silly as a local deck profile. It's huge. Where they used to be not as important, those local deck profiles are insanely huge because we don't have no bigger event besides maybe a PPG or a regionals, a remote duel regionals, YCS, everything remote duel basically. So I think that's why so many players are looking at these bigger events and trying to scale and understand what is going to be good and what's going to be needed. So is anyone still playing Master Duel? Me neither. I think Master Duel is a huge issue, and it's not necessarily the game itself. I think the game mechanics are amazing. The way the game plays is absolutely amazing. But Master Duel has a couple of issues. Number one, the ranking system. The minute you hit Plat, Master Duel might as well show you the credits. It's the end of the game. You hit Plat 1. If you continue playing and if you lose, you get bumped down, you have to grind back up to Plat 1. There's literally nothing else there for you. At all. Like, at that point, just show me the endgame credits, you know, and I'll be good. How about leave me at Plat 1? Because I obviously earned enough to be in Plat 1. Not keep throwing me back down, so I gotta play this infinite game of going up and down. Why? The number 2 issue obviously is going to be buying cards. The point system in Master Duel is scuffed. You can get a gems all day long, but then you gotta get URs that you don't want to decraft them to then craft the cards you need. That makes no sense. There should be an online store, and for a certain amount of gems, I could just buy what I want. Why is the gem system secondary to the actual UR system? It just makes building decks a lot harder and kills the interest for a lot of players that want to play multiple decks. Like, why not do that? And number 3, the card update. Obviously, we have a lot of, we don't have the newest sets of Master Duel, so players can't really get that real play experience, that real practice against the entire meta. So you're playing with a less of a card pool, with the balance that doesn't belong to us, in a totally different meta for Master Duel. And don't get me wrong, it creates its own meta, which if Konami wanted to go that route, sure, but it's not actual practice for competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, and that becomes an issue. Master Duel has a lot of great things going for it though. Like, they have the ability to go on any console, like iPhone, iPad, game consoles, computer. Like, that's smart. I think whoever pushed that idea made a home run, because that is definitely getting more players to play Master Duel. The game runs perfectly fine. You know, you don't hear people getting crashed all the time. You don't hear real issues or bugs. For the most part, Master Duel is a clean game. And I do think it's really fun that Konami decided to put a ranking system in, albeit not as good as other ranking system other games. Still relatively fun to do, to get up there. I'm looking forward to seeing more Master Duel tournaments, like big run tournaments on Master Duels. I think that'd be fun. But before that's even tried, I think what Konami needs to do is fix their rankings by adding a higher tier of rankings. Don't lock people out of don't tell players they can't get involved in Plat 1, and then when they're Plat 1, hold on. Don't allow players in Plat 1 only to tell them that they lose, they're going to go down to Plat 2 and have to regrind. That's not fun. I earned this. I should be able to stay here. I think Hearthstone solved this issue with their ranking systems by allowing players a ranking system, and then after a certain rank, you just get numbers, and that shows how good you are in the game. The lower the number, the better you are. Of course, in order to get to that number ranking system, you're going to have to go through the other ranks, and once you pass that, you get to be numbered. So, let's say you're number 1,000, that means you're 1,000th top player in Master Duel. Let's say you're number 50, that means you're number 50 best player in Master Duel. And I really think if Konami did this approach, it would then add another level of competitive play to Master Duel. Players want to be higher on the number, higher in the ranks, so they're going to want to try to get to the lower number, obviously. Update your card pool. Like, when new sets come out, there should be an update for Master Duel. Why is this not a thing? New sets come out, update comes with it. Simple. I don't understand why this is so difficult. And make it easier to get cards. If you make it harder to get cards, or make players forced to get 1, maybe 2 decks, they're not going to be as excited to play Master Duel if they're locked into only 2 decks because they have to grind, or you force them to pay out of their pocket. Which I understand you didn't make money, Konami, but it makes no sense. Also, the Battle Pass system. Oh my god. Is it finally time for us to address the Battle Pass system? I think, are we all done with Master Duel Battle Pass? The Battle Pass is pretty much burnt out at this point. Everyone's pretty much hit level 100, and they've done it faster because it's easier to do just by playing games and grinding. And players have done that. It's harder to hit the Battle Pass on Fortnite than it is to hit the Battle Pass on Master Duel, the top 100. And I think that's the problem with that is once players beat the Battle Pass, get to level 100 of the Battle Pass, where are the real rewards? Daily logins? Little missions? Make it harder to get to level in the Battle Pass and get better rewards. The Battle Pass reward tier system is so terrible. I don't understand why Konami thinks that giving us a little picture of Pot of Greed is like the end game goal. Give us more fields. Give us more packs. Just give us more. Like, make the Battle Pass worth it. Don't just keep giving me gems that I gotta buy packs in to try to get URs to then decraft to get the card I actually do want. Just give us a bunch of packs. It's that simple. Give us just a bunch of field centers that we would love to have. More character icons. Not a picture of Pot of Greed. Please don't do that. And yeah, maybe Konami's trying to get it out their system. They're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. No one understands that more than I do. I get that. But it's about time we do some updates to Master Duel. It's about time we make it worthwhile for duelists that play Master Duel, that want to grind the Master Duel, because I do. I personally want to grind. I want to play Master Duel all day long and try to be the top. But what's being the top of Master Duel if I just hit Plat 1 and then there's nothing else? That's it. Like, it makes no sense. You make it so easy to finish Master Duel when there should be more. Ranked should have more than just Plat 1. There should be more everything. Hopefully you like these motovlog videos. I'm going to do a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of fun things I enjoy about riding and talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And hopefully you enjoy as well. And I'm looking to do a lot of cool things for the motorcycle in the future. I'm actually looking to get more motorcycles. Little personal note. And we're going to wrap this in some anime. I don't know what to do yet, but we're doing it.